So this video is a part 2 version of the previous video where I talked about what is emotional attachment and how it unfolds. So I would recommend watching that video first before we can move forward with the process of detachment. Now in the previous video, I talked about two main reasons why you get attached to people, things, or anything in general. So the first reason was somebody not depending on themselves for emotional needs like security, trust, validation, feeling just secure within your being, which causes them to actually attach themselves to somebody else. The next reason was you subconsciously being really addicted to your own negative emotions and you being attached to this very specific person, thing, or circumstance even that is like reinforcing those negative beliefs and hence really just satisfying your addiction to your own negative emotions. So that sounds strange, but it happens. I would recommend watching the previous video for full explanation. Now, how to actually detach? What is the solution to these two major problems which causes you to attach? So to solve the first problem of you attaching to somebody because you're not able to fulfill your own needs would obviously mean that you need to fulfill those needs yourself. What are the needs we are looking at? First one of them all is survival needs, meaning depending on yourself for your survival. Does it require you to earn money yourself? Does it require you to be on your own? Anything and everything which involves you taking care of your survival, because that's the basic need. And I think regardless of the gender, you should be able to take care of yourself financially, because that's what survival means nowadays. You have to have some sort of knowledge around taking care of yourself financially so that you can take care of yourself, give yourself a decent life. If I today leave you in a forest, wouldn't you fight for your survival? Doesn't really matter if you're a man or a woman, you are going to fight for your survival, right? Then why do you feel the need to depend on somebody else when you can do the same for yourself? Why this is important is because if you are at some level depending on somebody else financially or for your survival, you are going to find ways to financially depend on every new person you meet. If you're really looking to take charge of your life, this is something you'll have to do, okay? Taking charge of your life means first taking care of yourself, first fulfilling your own survival need, fulfilling your own financial needs. That actually turns into you having a lot of confidence, because now you can trust yourself for your survival, the basic need, the very basic need. Once you depend on yourself for your survival needs or financial needs, your trust on yourself is going to increase. You're going to feel a lot more secure within yourself, which is actually going to make you feel free. You'll be like, okay, even if this thing goes down or anything goes down in my life, I know I'm here for myself. I will take care of myself. I will take care of those finances. I will take care of my survival needs. I will survive. Like, you wouldn't think about love, career, money, thriving, being popular, and stuff like that if you're not even surviving, if you're not even able to survive in this world. So surviving is the most basic but the most important need we all have. We need to first of all survive before we can actually live our life. That basic need should be in your hands, not in somebody else's hands. Just realize that if you're depending on somebody for just anything, you are giving them power over you. And if you're looking to take charge of your life, you'll have to fulfill the most basic and the most important need, which is survival needs, and which involves taking care of your finances, earning money yourself, and actually making a living for yourself, taking care of yourself. Now, for you to fulfill the next set of needs, you're gonna have to realize that you are not a victim, you are a creator. You're the source of everything which is happening around you. Even the negative circumstances where it seems like somebody else is doing something to you, it's just you creating it. And until unless you realize this, the next steps are just not going to work for you. Okay, I would just suggest learning more about yourself and your mind and how it works and how it creates. I will be listing all the good books that I would highly recommend you guys reading down the description or in a pinned comment. Okay, just go ahead and study that. For the next steps, you'll have to realize that you're the source of it all. If you already understand the concept of manifestation, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You're the source. Your belief system is creating for you. Whatever you're thinking is coming from your belief system, and that is actually creating for you. I don't care what is happening in your life. I don't care if somebody cheated on you, if somebody did you wrong, that's you. I'm sorry, that's you. So now, the next set of needs which a person should fulfill all by themselves is First of all, validation, being there for yourself emotionally, creating a sense of security, and just trusting themselves. That is just enough, all right? If I had just one single word to describe all these needs, it would be love. Basically just showing yourself love, all right? Now, let's just talk about validation, right? We attach ourselves to a lot of people just because we are seeking validation most of the times. Validation on our looks, validation for what we do, for the kind of money we make, validation just on anything we feel insecure about. Why we feel insecure about it and why we seek validation, it's just because we are unable to validate ourselves on that subject, okay? We are unable to do that for ourselves. Now, what does validation entails? So if you see here, a simple equation about validation is nothing but just acceptance and appreciation. Okay, just a simple equation for validation. Acceptance meaning accepting yourself as who you are. Now, that is just not enough. It's not enough to say, okay, I accept who I am. Even though I don't like it, I just accept who I am right now. No, that doesn't work. That is why I included appreciation, all right? So for instance, let's just say I used to not really like my red nose. So what would I have to do to validate that? I would first accept, okay, this is a part of me. My nose being red is a part of me. This makes me unique. What this sentence involved, it involved me accepting who I am as I am. And when I said, okay, it's unique, it makes me look very unique. It's a unique feature. That's me appreciating that part of myself. So I accept it and appreciate it, and hence I created validation within me. Now, once I've created this validation within me, I don't really have to go ahead and seek it. Now, a lot of people, again, who depend on evidence in real life, so let's just say you have some evidence where people are making fun of your nose, your red nose and stuff like that, it's going to be kind of tricky for you to believe your own words, right? I know that, I understand that, but that's when you're going to tell yourself, I don't care what other people say about my nose, I like my nose, and that's the only thing that matters right now. I don't care what people are saying about it. They want to like it, they don't want to like it, it's up to them, but I like it. By doing that, you are putting more importance on your own words rather than somebody else's words. And you're going to have to do it over and over and over and over and over again until that feeling of insecurity about any part of your body or anything you're insecure about diminishes or dissipates. Okay. Next is being there for your emotional self, meaning whenever you're feeling down, emotional, something like that, you're gonna have to be present with yourself, meaning you're gonna take some time out of your day, sit down with yourself and express yourself. Express whatever it is you're feeling. Express those emotions to yourself first before you go ahead and express it to your friend or to your parents maybe. Why? Because we are building a relationship with ourselves here, right? Which is really important. And for you to build a good relationship with yourself, you're gonna have to show up for yourself. Start showing up for yourself, and being there for yourself emotionally. When you're emotional, when you're feeling down, is actually you showing up for yourself. It's actually you showing respect for yourself. Let's just say you're in a relationship. You like it when your partner is there when you're feeling emotionally down, right? You like it when your partner is there to listen to your problems, to be there when you feel like crying, right? You need to do that for yourself first. You need to seek that comfort from yourself first. Doing this, you're gonna build a really good relationship. Now, what does this entail? Nothing. Just express yourself, cry with yourself, or whatever it is that you're feeling, just express it to yourself. Just letting it out feels really, really good. And this actually leads me to the next point, which is prioritizing yourself. A lot of people just ignore their emotions. They distract themselves by either their cell phones, laptops, movies, this and that, which is completely fine, but do it after you have taken care of your emotions. Okay, do not distract yourself. When you distract yourself, what you're really doing is you're just very indirectly telling yourself that, okay, I'm not important, my emotions are not important, let me just distract myself, okay? Because this emotion or whatever the fuck I'm feeling right now is not important enough for me to put my attention on, okay? That's what you do. And when you actually get it from somebody else, if somebody started ignoring your emotions or somebody was not there for you, you're gonna feel bad. That's not how it works. You need to show for yourself first, right? So prioritizing self, meaning drop everything you're doing. Okay, if you have work, if you have a job, complete your task. After that, take out some time and be there for yourself emotionally, okay? Now, the next thing is taking care of your emotions again, it's not enough, because sometimes what people do, they will cry, they will express themselves, and they will still be in this very negative emotional state, because what they have done is, yes, they have expressed themselves, but they haven't done anything to resolve that negative emotion, to resolve that negative thinking pattern. And that's what we're gonna do next. What is the next step? Is to make sure you are respecting yourself and loving yourself directly or indirectly. What the fuck do I mean by that? I'm just gonna show you a diagram. So people don't realize, by the way, nobody on the internet is gonna give you this information, I bet. What happens is people don't see it because people are not aware of these things, but we are either directly disrespecting ourselves or respecting ourselves, or we are indirectly disrespecting ourselves or respecting ourselves. All right, so here's an example of how a direct disrespect looks like. You directly telling yourself, I'm stupid, I'm not good enough for anything, I'm just stupid. Indirect disrespect to self looks like this. You have a thought, okay, they don't like me, they won't choose me. You have this thought. We're always thinking something about ourselves through either a person, circumstance, or just a thought. Meaning, let's just say you had a thought, they don't like me, they won't choose me. What you're unconsciously, very subconsciously, thinking is, I'm not good enough, I'm never chosen. That is why you're thinking this thought. Why you're feeling this way? Because you just hate yourself. I hate myself, not good enough, never chosen, and hence this is the reason why they won't like me or they won't choose me. If you had a very opposite thought, I love myself, and you were thinking very subconsciously, I'm way more than just good enough, I'm always chosen, you would never have this specific thought, and hence you would actually never experience this in your life. These are your beliefs. That's what you're thinking about yourself. So either you're directly disrespecting yourself or you're indirectly disrespecting yourself. So as I said, it's not enough to express yourself, express your emotions like that. You also have to resolve them. This is resolving them, okay? I know it's going to be very overwhelming to be aware of each and every thought you have. That's what I did. And I'm not asking you to be aware of each and every single thought. Whenever you're aware of certain negative thought, just make sure you resolve it. So how are you going to resolve it, right? I want you to imagine the kid version of you, right? That kid version of you is standing right in front of you. Now ask yourself, are you ever gonna tell that little kid that he or she is not good enough, or he or she is stupid, or he or she is just not a good artist, for instance, or he or she is just ugly? Are you ever going to say these things to that little kid? You're never gonna say those things. It's harsh. Then why do you keep on constantly abusing yourself, directly or indirectly? Why? I have a video on how to heal yourself, how to do your own therapy. I go into detail as to how to do it. That will actually teach you how to not just express yourself emotionally, but to actually resolve those thinking patterns and turn those thinking patterns into something which is going to work out for you, which is actually going to resolve that emotion for you. I would highly recommend watching that video right after this one. It's a real good one, all right? If you are not going to disrespect that little kid or going to say those harsh things to the little kid, then why do you say those things to yourself? That little kid is always inside you, is always going to be inside you for the rest of your life. So just imagine whenever you're disrespecting yourself, just imagine that you're disrespecting that little kid, that you're being harsh with that little kid, okay? You're going to have to parent yourself, and that's what I mean. So again, it's going to be very overwhelming to be aware of each and every single thought you have, which is not what I'm really asking. Whatever in your life you're struggling with right now, try and be aware of as many thoughts as you can be aware of, and then resolve them. Still, if you're not trusting your own words, you're going to have to persist with it. The more you persist, so initially if you're not trusting your own words, eventually you are going to trust what you're saying. So if you were constantly saying I'm stupid and you trusted that because you created that, so you trusted that, start saying the opposite. You're eventually going to trust it, and not just trust it, you're eventually going to see evidence for it in your life. All right, so that's taking care of your emotional needs, being there for yourself emotionally, and then resolving those emotion or those thinking patterns. All right, another thing is to keep your promises, meaning I always give this example, meaning let's just say you decided, okay, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, but then you don't actually end up doing that. That is actually you not keeping your promise. If somebody promised you something and they did not keep up with that promise, you would start losing trust in them, right? What we're doing here, we are building a relationship with ourselves. We're building trust with ourselves, right? So if you are promising yourself that that, okay, tomorrow I'm going to work out, tomorrow I'm going to do this for myself, or whatever it is, make sure you're keeping that promise. No matter how lazy you're feeling, keep that promise. Now I've come to the end of it, and I can now complete the equation. So now that you have validated yourself, and now you're there for yourself emotionally, you're also prioritizing yourself. If you add all these things, you create love. All right, once you create that love, you create trust, and the end result of you trusting yourself is security. You feeling very, very secure within your own being, which was what we were striving for. Now that you're feeling secure, you're just going to feel very much relaxed within your being, with yourself, and that need to depend on people or anything else in your life is naturally going to dissipate. You're naturally going to detach from people around you because you have created this fulfillment within you, within yourself. So once you have taken care of your emotional needs like this properly, you're naturally going to start taking care of your health as well. You're going to start eating healthy. You're even going to start exercising a little bit, because that is like a side effect of you taking care of yourself. The more you take care of yourself, the emotionally or the emotional needs, you're also going to start naturally taking care of your physical self as well. All right, and the last third thing for you to do is to take out some time to do something you really like doing. It can be anything. Even if you just like washing the dishes, do that. Why? For instance, imagine a kid, okay? Imagine you have a kid, okay? And that kid really likes to draw. You would then want that kid to draw even more. Why? Because that drawing process makes this little kid happy. So what we're doing here, by doing the things we really like to do, we're just making ourselves happy, okay? It can be just anything. It can be anything. I'm not necessarily saying go ahead and follow your passion if you're not ready yet, even though you should. But all I'm saying is just take out some time to do what you really like doing, okay? That's that. As simple as that. Because why? Because it just makes you happy. And the goal is to actually make yourself happy. So why not, all right? Now, once you do all of this, this is naturally going to solve the next problem, which is the emotional addiction we felt for the negative emotions. If you are creating this new emotional body or this new emotional state, you're naturally going to be addicted to this new emotional state. Why? Because you have created a new normal. You're really just making your body feel safe in this new emotional state. New emotional state meaning you have now created a new belief system. If you have created a new belief system, you have already taught your body to feel safe in this new belief system, in this new emotional state. So new emotional state, new normal, your body feeling safe in this new belief system and new emotional state means that you have abandoned the old emotional state. You have completely abandoned that. And once you abandon something, that's how you actually go away from the addiction, all right? If you're addicted to that very specific thing. So by doing all that, by whatever I explained initially in the video, you're already breaking that emotional addiction to those negative thoughts, all right? Now, this all sounds good, but obviously it requires putting in work, putting in effort. Now, it can take somebody just 1 month to do this work and feel absolutely fine, and it can also take somebody 6 months to over a year. It totally depends on where you are belief system wise, right? And just don't worry about time, okay? Do not worry about how much time it is going to take. Basically, what is going to happen once you do all this work, once you create the new belief system, you're also going to start seeing changes in your life as well. You're going to start seeing changes in the people you interact with. They're going to start treating you differently. They're going to start showing up very differently in your life, and that is going to give you so much confidence, all right? And that is actually gonna make you want to stick with the process even more. Just trust me, that's how it happens. That's how it happened with me. I started doing this work. I did not really think about what I'm getting out of this, as in what I'm getting out of it in my reality. I just started putting in the work. I naturally started seeing changes in my reality, which made me even more confident and motivated to stick with this process. And I kept on just going. I kept on going until I actually changed. So don't worry about how much time it is going to take for you to detach from somebody. Just put in the work. Focus on putting in the work for yourself. Focus on just showing on for yourself. That's it. You're naturally going to detach. I also recommend in this process to listen to some affirmation tape. I've been listening to affirmation tapes, nightly affirmation tapes for past 2 years. It has changed my life completely. It has changed me. All right. I came from having little to no confidence to having a lot of confidence within myself, having a real good self-esteem. self-esteem. So affirmation tapes were really helpful. I create my own affirmation tape, but I believe in the therapy video I have included a section where I teach you guys how to create your own affirmation tape which targets your limiting beliefs. Okay, so go ahead and watch that video. But other than that, I have covered everything which I should be covering to teach you guys how to detach. That's how you detach. You don't detach by saying, okay, I don't give a fuck about this person anymore. That's not detachment. That is you just giving up on this whole process because you just don't know what to do. All right, but now you know what to do. Now you know what's happening, so now you can actually put in the work. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video is already very long. I hope you're taking something out of this video. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. If you have any confusion, ask me in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in my next video.